But when we look at the new Every Student Succeeds Act, which Congress is about to pass, and specifically the language in H.R. 5, it says that it expresses the intent of Congress that control over public education and parental rights to control their children's education is vested exclusively within the authority reserved to the states and individual Americans. Now that's a change from the 10th Amendment. Here it has the word "and," meaning both the states and individual Americans, so the state can step in and decide what kids learn, and the parents either agree or don't agree, but the states do have that right. And it also says, by the Constitution, it has exceptions. When the states expressly approve federal terms or conditions on educational assistance, or the federal government is obliged to enforce minimum federal equal protection or due process. So you see quite a few "ors" in there, many different cases where the federal government will be able to override not only individuals and what they want their kids to learn, but also to override the states. And this is definitely not the intent of the U.S. Constitution or the 10th Amendment.
I hear Congress is about to pass this Every Child Succeeds Act. What's your take on that?
Well, from what I've read, it looks like the act is actually an infringement on the rights of the people, and the parent in particular, on how they should address the education of their child. Now, when you look at the 10th Amendment, it says "or," whereas that one is, the new thing, it says "and." Is that right? So, just my take on it, I'm just going to speak from my view of the whole act thing, is that we are giving too much power to our representatives, and it's going to come to a point where the human rights is just completely gone. It's almost like an end times thing where the government has total say on what people should be doing. And if we do this, we give all of our rights to 0.2% of the population. It's just going to cause, it just doesn't make any sense that we give all our rights to just 2% of the population. Representatives are supposed to do exactly that, and they're supposed to represent us and what we want, but we don't get any of that. They dictate everything that happens, and we have to put a stop to this. As I'm sitting here thinking about this right now, the reason why we always talk about how bad people do this and bad people do that, but the reason why the country is in the state that it's in is that good people allow these type of things to happen. That's the problem with that act. We see that it's wrong, and we let these representatives put this power into action, and we don't do anything about it. We need to address Congress and talk to them about not letting this go through, and make a stand on this thing and stop it from happening.
So if we study our U.S. Constitution and we look at Article 1, Section 8 of the enumerated powers, which specifically lists the powers given to the federal government, education is not included. And then more specifically, when you look at the Bill of Rights in the 10th Amendment, it says that the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to the states, are reserved to the states, respectively, or to the people. Well, that means that either the states have the power or the people. And traditionally, since the founding of our country, it's been the people that have had the power over education. Parents have been the one to decide what their kids learn, and actually the students themselves have been able to choose what they study.